Hi, welcome back. Now we are going to continue with 1.4 of univariate statistics, which is the effects of transformation. So if we look in your manual, we are here at 1.4. So let's look at our learning outcomes for today. There will be two types of transformations that you will be looking at. One is COO, which is change of origin, and one is change of scale. All right, we'll be looking at two types of transformation. You need to be able to recognize the two types of transformation and the effect of those transformation on your mean, mode, median, and on your range, interquartile range, standard deviation, and variance. MCT is your mean, mode, median. MOD is your range, interquartile range, and standard deviation. All right, so you need to recognize the transformation, meaning this is your original set. X prime is usually after the transformation. So always remember this when they ask you to write transformation formula. So your transformation formula must have the prime, must have the apostrophe there. Why must you have the apostrophe? Because you have changed the data, you have transformed. So what is the new transformation? You are adding with 4. Okay, or you're multiplying with 2, that sort of thing. You need to identify and recognize that. And we're going to learn the two types of transformation: change of origin, COO, change of scale, COS, and the effects of the transformation. So if we look at this histogram in your manual, it is here. Okay, what's happening here? So let's look at the first one. The first transformation, which we call COO, change of origin. First and foremost, why do you call it change of origin? Because the original shape of the distribution didn't change. It's just that it's moved from left to right or right to left. All right, it just moved, but it all looks the same. So change of origin, in other words, is when you plus or minus any value to your data. Okay, when you transform, the transformation means what? You're changing it, you're transforming. So how are you transforming? There are two ways, whether you plus, minus, or you times or divide. So when you plus or minus something to your data, of course your data will change. Okay, your data will change in value, but what else will change? So let's take a look. This is your original histogram. Original minimum is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to, why do you see the apostrophe here? That means the data has been transformed. It's equal to X plus 5. What does that mean? You're adding 5 to your data. That means this will be 6, this will be 7, this will be 8, and this will be 9. So this is your new data set. All right. So what will happen? When you plus or minus something to your data, your MCT also will plus or minus by the same value. In this case, your mean will be added by 5, your median will be added by 5, your mode will be added by 5. So let me prove it to you. What is your mode here? 3. Original mode is 3, isn't it? What is your new mode? 8. It has been added by 5. Understand? What would be the effect on MOD? What is MOD? Measure of dispersion. Did the dispersion of the data change? No. The dispersion didn't change. So if the dispersion didn't change, how dispersed the data is, that has not changed. What does that tell you? That your MOD has got no effect, meaning your range, interquartile range, standard deviation and variance will not change when you plus or minus something to your data. Understand? Let me prove it to you. Your original range, 4 minus 1, 3, correct? Your new range, 9 minus 6, it is still 3. Okay, so I need you to remember, change of origin is when you plus or minus something to your data. Only MCT got effect. MOD, no effect. COS is change of scale. Change of scale is when you multiply or divide something to your data. Why do we call it change of scale? If you look at this, this is original distribution. When it goes here, can you see the whole scale of the data has changed? It doesn't even look the same anymore. Okay, so this one is very obvious. Now here you're multiplying 2 to your data. So if you're multiplying 2 to your data, what will happen? Okay, so let's take a look at the first part. Your mean will also be multiplied by 2. Your median also. You see your mode originally 3 became 6. Your MOD also will be multiplied by 2. See, original range is 3, new range is 6. 3 times 2, 6. Okay, everything will be multiplied by 2. But your variance, can you see this? Variance will be multiplied with 2 squared. Honestly, that's about it for transformation. There's two types of transformation, COO, COS. COO, change of origin, when you plus and minus, only mean, mode, median got effect. Change of scale, everything got effect. Mean, mode, median and MOD, all got effect. All right, moving forward. Okay, so this is from your manual. All right, so I've explained this already in detail. Shouldn't be a problem. So now you're going to fill example 1 up. So what I want you to do is, you are going to be looking at COO and COS, two types, correct or not? So now this is your original data set, which is an ungrouped data here, quite simple. So what I want you to do is calculate your original mean, median, mode, which is 3, and so on. So I'll show you what's going on here. So you're going to calculate your original values. For mean and standard deviation, please use your calculators. All right, please use your calculators. And standard deviation, variance is the square of standard deviation. Then what you're going to do is, I want you to do transformation when plus 5, what happens? When times 2, what happens? Don't go and recalculate everything again. The purpose of teaching you this, the purpose of teaching you, basically, one second, the purpose of teaching you transformation is you don't redo everything again. So, plus 5 is change of origin, isn't it? So, when I change my data to plus 5, my mean also plus 5. Median also plus 5. Mode also plus 5. But the rest here, MOD, no effect. No effect when you plus and minus. I already showed you why. I showed you this histogram here. I already showed you why. Now, when you multiply by 2 is change of scale. So, everything multiply by 2. 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 2, 6. Can you see? 2 times 2, 4. This also times 2. This also. But variance, you will times 2 squared. You understand? Okay, so that's example 1. So please don't go and, hey, I need to recalculate the whole data. You change everything. Oh, this become 6, this becomes 6, this becomes 7. No need. If your data plus with 5, mean, mode, median plus with 5, the MOD, no effect. Times with 2, everything you times with 2, variance times with 2 square. All clear there? Okay, exercise 1.4. What is happening here is they have given you the original data set as you see here. This is original data set. Can you see? Original. Original mean, median, mode, range, all given to you. So now you just need to sort out the transformation. So you need to identify it yourself. 1 has become 0. 2 has become 1. 3 has become 2. 5. What is happening? Your data is reduced by 1. What kind of transformation is this? X minus 1. That means your original data minus 1. What will happen? Mean, median, mode minus 1. Range, if you minus or plus, no change, isn't it? Can you see? These are all minus and plus, no change. Okay? All right? So if you look, you're going to compare from the original to this. What is the change that has taken place? Here increased by 5. Here multiplied by 7. So multiply by 7. Everything you multiply by 7. This one multiply by 7 squared. Understand? You take from original. Always compare original to part A. Original to part B. Original to part C. Alright? Now, let's look at part D. What's going on? Part D is half of the original. Everything is in half. So 0.5x. So your mean, mode, median also divide by 2. Range, interquartile range also, everything also, you divide with 2. This one you divide with 2 squared. Understand? So what's happening here? 10 times more. So everything times 10. Variance times 10 squared. So this is, now this is a bit unique. This one got 2 transformations in one. 10x plus 1. Because this becomes 11, 21, 31. So you multiply by 10. And add by 1. So meaning there is COO and there is COS. So how do you manage this? So your original mean is 3.3, right? So mean, mode, median, you times or plus both also got effect. Correct or not? So you will times 10 and plus 1, meaning you just put 3.3 inside the formula. 10 times 3.3 plus 1. 2 times 3.3 plus 1. 2, that will be for your MCT, because MCT plus also got effect, times also got effect. But what about MOD? MOD plus no effect, only times, right? So you only times with 10. Understand? So this is the common mistake students will make. When got times and plus together, they will plus and times everything. No. You can only MOD, MCT, mean, mode, median, plus and times got effect, but MOD you only can times, cannot plus and minus. So as you can see, I only times with 10, times with 10, I didn't add with 1. Same goes to this 10x plus 10. Okay, all there, sorted. This one is doubled, the data is doubled. So 2x. What's happening here? The original data has got a negative. So basically you're multiplying it with negative 1. You're multiplying it with negative. So everything you are going to multiply it with negative 1. So your mean, mode, median also become negative 1. But MOD cannot be negative. Therefore, it remains the same. Okay, because range is distance. So range, you will just multiply with 1. Everything multiply with 1. Understand? Cannot be negative. What is range? Distance from the biggest data to the smallest. It cannot be negative. Is that clear? Second one is multiply with negative 2. So mean, mode, median, multiply with negative 2. All this MOD, you just multiply with 2. You ignore the negative. Clear? Okay, so I want you to complete question 2 as well, which is not very difficult. I just want you to pause this video as you are doing. So you're going to fill up this table here. You're going to state whether it's COO or COS. Okay, so you're converting to kilograms. What are you doing when you're converting to kilograms? You need to divide 1,000. So it's COS, that sort of thing. Okay, COO, when you're increasing by, this is plus or minus. Decreasing by this much is minus. Increase by how many percent? All is COS. You need to multiply. You increase, you times with 1.05. You decrease less than 1, you times with 0.9. You increase by 12%, become 1.12. So same thing, you treat the mean, standard deviation the same way. So standard deviation, when you plus, no change. Okay, when you times and divide, then got change. So I want you to complete that. So pause the video as you're going along so you can check your answers. Number 3, find the mean and standard deviation of these temperatures. So now, not so difficult. Put in your calculator. Please don't do manually. You need to stop doing it manually. I see a lot of you still doing it. Please punch it into your calculators. Write your answers in 4DP first. I will tell you why after this. Write your answers always in 4DP first, and then you round off to 2DP because this one got units. Now to report these data, the temperatures were converted to degree Fahrenheit using this scale. Meaning now they are giving you the transformation formula, which includes multiplication and addition. That means got COO, got COS. Okay, so always put it in your mind. Mean, mode, median, I just plug it in the formula. So my mean, how to find my mean? You put these 4 decimal places into the formula. Can you see that? I put the 4 decimal places. You cannot put 2, your answer will be different. Whenever you transfer values, always transfer in 4 decimal places. Okay, so you put it into the formula, you get 95.77. Common mistake within students. What's the standard deviation? They will put this value inside the formula again. Why is it wrong? Standard deviation cannot plus 32. Only can times 9/5. Understand, huh? Okay. Alright, the next one. During a heat wave, the minimum temperatures are usually 33 1/3% less than the maximum. Okay, if it's 33 1/3% less than the maximum, maximum is 100. Maximum is 100. 33 1/3% less than 100, you minus up. So you get 66 2/3%. Don't change it to decimals because it won't be accurate anymore. Using this proportion, what would be your new mean? So you need to just multiply it. So you take your new mean. They want it in degree Celsius. So you take it from here. For dp, you times 66 2/3%. Standard deviation also you times. And you're pretty sorted. Okay. So today we will complete exercise 1.4 and 1.5. A mathematics class is made of 9 boys and 14 girls. In a test, the boys scored an average of 62% and the girls 68%. What is class average? So basically what you are doing here is you are doing the combined mean. I already taught you this, how to do combined mean. Mean times n, mean times find your total value first, which is 1510. You divide with 23. Your class average will be 65. No need to change to decimal all. Just straight away take and multiply. Understand? Because the answer you get will be already in percentage. So you no need to times again. Okay? Question 2. Which swimmer was selected on the basis of lowest average and consistent? So this question asks for average and consistency. Plug these values into the calculator. Find mean and standard deviation. So you got to do it one by one. Okay, find your mean and standard deviation. Lowest average will be A, and most consistent will be the one with the lowest standard deviation, which is C. All right. Question 3. The personnel manager of a firm found that the mean salary for its workers is 23,500. Standard deviation is 2110. If all workers were given a 15% rise, whenever we talk about percentage, increase in percentage is always change of scale, meaning I multiply. Increase means more than 1. So I times with 1.15. Okay, so my mean times with 1.15, my standard deviation times with 1.15. Later in the same year, each worker was given a bonus. What is bonus? Bonus is a whole value. That means my yearly salary, let's say, is 20,000. Oh, then I got a bonus of 500. So my yearly salary now is 20,500. This is what you call COO, change of origin. You plus 500. So 27. So later in the same year, meaning I take from the increased salary, which is from here. Because they got a pay rise, so their new salary is no more this, is now 27,025. From there, you will plus 500. Standard deviation will stay the same. Why will it stay the same? Because this is plus minus, no effect. Okay. Question 4. The first part is just combining your mean and standard deviation. All right. Okay, you just combine your mean and standard deviation. Make sure you transfer in 4 decimal places. We have just done this in class. I really hope it's not a problem. Okay, as you can see, this will carry. You will see this in your AA as well. Okay, and then I'll just go. Where are you in the manual now? Huh? We are here in number 4. Okay, part B. What you are going to do is you are going to do correction to your data. I've given a separate video for correction. So make sure all of you know how to do correction. What are the changes you are going to make? So I've already put it nicely here. You are going to remove what? The 22. So you minus 22. In the sigma x squared, you minus 22 squared. You change the new n, become 8. So you will now use these new values and find the new combined mean and combined standard deviation. Okay, question 5. A student was given a list of containing 75 integers with the values between 15 and 59 inclusive. Inclusive means 15 and 59 is included. That means the minimum value is 15, the maximum value is 59. He enters the values into a calculator and obtains a mean of 46. Meaning now your n is 75. Minimum value is 15. Maximum, always write down what you read. So it's easier for you to see. When you see it as also many words, you can get confused. Okay. He obtains a mean which is 46 and a standard deviation which is 12. Okay. So now what can you extract from here? If my mean is 46, my sigma x must be 46 times 75, which is this. My sigma x squared must be mean squared plus, that means 46 squared plus 12 squared, the whole thing times with 75 is this. Okay, so I want you to extract it step by step. Okay, so meaning can you see that I didn't read the whole question and jump into the conclusion? I stopped here and I wrote down the important information first. Because when you do your calculation later, you won't get confused. So now what you can see from here, you already got a sigma x, you got a sigma x squared. He then checks all data values entered into the calculator and discovered that a value was 17, was entered as 17, but it should have been 47. So what is happening now? He's going to take out 17 and put in 47. Understand? So from your sigma x, you're going to take out 17 and add 47. Your sigma x squared, you're going to take out 17 squared and add 47 squared. Okay? So you already got your new sigma x and your new sigma x squared. Okay, your n will remain the same. Why? Because you're just changing data. Now, taking into consideration of the above correction, find your new mean. I don't think that's a problem. We have found our sigma x. You find your mean. Median. The median, there'll be no change in the position. Okay, if you look into it, there'll be no change. Now, the 17 was at the beginning. You're changing it to 47. Okay, your median will still be 49. There'll be no, 47 is before 49. And n never changed, so position won't change. Your range also won't change. Understand? Okay. One second, yeah. Your range also won't change. So your new standard deviation, you should be able to calculate. That shouldn't be a problem. You already have your new sigma x squared. Make sure to use your new mean. This is a mistake students always, I don't know why students always forget. They tend to use the old mean, which is 46, but you need to use your new mean. All right. So that's question 5. Question 6. A lift in a condominium is designed to carry a maximum load of 1,000. Is it overloaded? At one time, if it carries 7 women whose weights is 56 and 8 men, which is 74. So you basically need to find the total weight lah. The total load will be 984, not overloaded. You know how to find, right? 7 times 56 plus 8 times 74. That's it. Actually, it's pretty simple. Okay, number 7. In a drug trial, 20 people were divided in 2 groups. Okay, so now you got this. Show the change in body fat percentage. A positive change means increase in body fat. Negative means decrease in body fat. So find the mean, median and standard deviation for each group. Use calculator for mean and standard deviation. When you plug it in the calculator, plug it in as -5. Not that minus sign, the negative sign. Okay, so you're going to find your mean and standard deviation, all right? For each group, correct to 1 decimal place. So for A, these are the values. For B, these are the values. B, which group appears to be more inconsistent? Inconsistent means higher standard deviation. Group B, because it has a higher standard. No need to write so much. Higher standard deviation, enough. Which drug appear to be more effective in lowering body fat? It will be which one? It will be B, because when they said positive means increase. You want decrease means negative. Okay, number 8, same thing. You find your mean and standard deviation. Originally, try to use your calculators. Unknown to the farmer, the bottom had broken off, and all records were recorded 1 inch too tall. So that means it is 1 inch higher than it's supposed to be. So what is the true mean? Okay, originally they record this. They are saying now it's broken. So the whatever record given there is 1 inch longer than it should be. So originally you have to minus 1. Standard deviation won't change when you plus and minus. Okay? Okay, when reporting the mean and standard deviation to a colleague, the farmer decided to convert the measurements to milliliters. They have given you the milliliter. So this one now, 1 inch is 25.44 mm. So basically you have to multiply it. You do your multiplication from these values and find the answer. All right, shouldn't be a problem. It should be in 2 decimal places, and make sure you have your units. All right. Okay, number 9 is our last question. We are stopping here. Okay. Below is a bar chart showing. So this actually basically is like your histogram. Find the mean and standard deviation. Plug it in your calculators. Data 2, frequency 1. Data 3, frequency 1. Data 5, frequency 2. Data 6 is plug it in your calculators. Find your mean and standard deviation. Okay, so your values will be as such 10.41 and 4.39. The score 2 was incorrectly recorded. That means the 2 was wrong. It should have been 6 instead, meaning now this 2 is going to disappear from here. The 6, the frequency will become 2. From 1 become 2. If the score 2 is changed to 6, what effect? So I've done this with you before. I'm taking out a small value. What will happen to my mean? My mean will increase. Okay, because you're adding 6, the sum will increase what? Okay, the lower quartile, no change in the, basically in the number of data. So the position won't change. The range will decrease. It's obvious. Initially is 17 minus 2 is 15. Now is 17 minus 3. So it is the decrease. So the minimum value is now 3. So now the total marks for this test was over 24 and the teacher wants to calculate the percentage. So now this is the both COO and COS. You multiply by 4 and add by 4. Meaning your transformation formula is 4x plus 4. 4x plus 4. So what is your new mean? So first of all, you need to do the correction first. So you need to find a new mean and standard deviation after the correction that we were talking about just now. This is your new mean and standard deviation. And you are going to apply this transformation on it. So to 10.64, you times 4 plus 4. To the standard deviation, you only times 4. No plus 4 because standard deviation, no effect, plus and minus. All right, so we will stop here. In the next class, we will continue with the question bank.